Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Raising Noire Twins. Look, if you just stumbled upon this podcast, then let me introduce myself to you. My name is Nichelle Bowens. I'm the mother of Noire Twins, Lauren and Siren. And I'm also a podcaster, as you can see. An author, I am a licensed insurance agent, I'm a flight attendant. And so if you just stumbled upon this podcast, that probably means that you don't follow me on social media. So go ahead and follow me, Raising All Twins, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and this podcast is on Spotify. So go ahead and follow this podcast too. So now that we got that all out of the way, that kind of, we're going to just slide right into what this episode's about, because as I mentioned all of those things, I'm a working mother, as you can tell. And that's what this episode is about, working moms. I get asked this question all the time. How do you do it? How do you find the time? I'm sure y'all get asked this all the time too, because being a mom is a full-time job by itself, let alone adding a whole nother full-time job on top of that. And trying to do little side things on side. Like, it's a lot, right? How do we find the time? You know what? The short answer to that is we just do. We just do it. We just find the time. We find a way. We should really be partners with Nike, because we just do it, right? That's what mothers do. That's what parents do. But that's the short answer. But I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into how I do it, and that looks different for everybody. What I do and how I manage my time and to get all my different projects and things done as a mom may not look the same as somebody else. So here's what I do, okay? First, let me shout out to my wonderful support system. Hands down, I have a great support system, But with that being said, that doesn't mean that it's easy, that it makes it easier, right? It's still tough. It's still tough being a working mom. It's still, you have your mom guilt, not only with just being away from your kids, but the guilt of having to heavily rely on somebody else. I don't know, for me, that's kind of where my guilt lies too. But like I said, I'm gonna jump into how I find the time and how I do it, right? And so one thing is, it's a lot of late nights, early mornings. It is what it is, okay? You gotta find the time when you can find the time. And so for me, with being a flight attendant, I'll give you an example. This just happened the other day. So I'm really into promoting my book, When Mates Lie and Siren. And so I have a list of places that I wanna go and talk to about maybe partnering up with them or doing events or just any little thing to kind of get my book out there, right? And so the other night I landed in San Francisco at like 10:30 at night. By the time everyone's off the plane, I get on the employee bus, I get to my car, I decompress, put on the right mix for my ride home. I'm talking about music, right mix, because you can't just be riding in silence. I mean, you can, but I don't want to do that. So anywho, but by that time, I get in my car and I'm ready to go. It's probably like 11 or maybe a little bit after 11, right? So now I have to drive about an hour and a half to 2 hours from San Francisco to Sacramento to get home. And so by the time I get home, what is that? 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that? I don't know, y'all do the math, but it's late, right? So I'm tired, okay? Because more than likely I just flew 6 hours from across the country, because I'll be doing these long, from the East Coast to the West Coast. I'll be trying to get rid of them. I'll be trying to get out of them, y'all. I'll be trying. But anywho, so by the time I get home, I'm tired, okay? But sleep, what? You got 2 little ones. You have twins at that. Sleep is nowhere on the radar. Now, they should be asleep because it's late, but it was a weekend, so they get a pass. So when I get home, it's bath time, it's still bedtime, and kids for whatever reason, they don't be wanting to take no bath, they don't be wanting to go to bed. They get all this burst of energy when they're not supposed to have this burst of energy, right? So, anywho, once that's all taken care of, now, as I mentioned, I'm, working on marketing my book and going out and talking with people. So I wanted to get my presentation together. So I got everything, my little package together, what I'm going to say, got my little outfit out, because, I have to be looking cute. I can't just be approaching people looking crazy. Like, that's what I'm not going to do, right? And so by that time, I think it's maybe 3, 4 in the morning, And I wanted to get up early the next morning to do everything while they were still sleeping. And so that way, by the time I got back, then we can like start our day kind of thing. And so I was up probably like at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, out the house by 9, did everything I had to do. I was back by 12, 1 or whatever. And so again, I'm really appreciative of my support system that's able to watch them in those times, where I could really focus on the things that I need to focus on. But again, I still have to be mom. I'm not just coasting by because they're there. And so that's what I mean by, for me, it takes late nights, early mornings, that I do some of my best work. I feel the most creative when it's late night, everybody's sleeping, I'm by myself, like there's no distractions. And so that's what, like I said, that's when I feel like when I'm most productive. Okay. Another thing too is how I get things done, and this actually goes with me being a flight attendant. It's actually really a flexible job. I know a lot of people on the outside looking in, it's really hard to comprehend, and sometimes it's really hard to explain to people like our schedules and how things work and this and that and that and this. But once you're in it, and I've been doing this for like I've been doing this for 9 years now, and you can kind of make it work for you. Not kind of, you can. You definitely make it work for you. And so with that being said, this is two things. So I do a lot of work on my layovers, because in the beginning, I'm gonna just take you back to the beginning. When I first started, it was all about, oh, this layover, we gotta go out and do something, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Now I'm at a different place in my life, and I'm just like, I just want to sleep, or I just want to rest. I don't got no plans. So now that I'm doing all of these other things, all of these side jobs, I could do it on my layover. It's time. It's time that I have to myself. There's no distractions. For those of you that's watching this video, you can see that I'm doing it in the hotel room right now. And although, let me just throw this out there, I love my babies. But sometimes mama need a break, okay? And so this is like the perfect little getaway. Like, I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel as guilty about it, because I'm like, I'm working. Like, I'm making a living for me and my babies, right? So I don't feel super guilty about it. I do feel bad because it's like I'm away from my girls. I love being around there, But again, sometimes mama needs a break. And for those of you that aren't flight attendants, sometimes you may need like a little staycation. Go book you a room somewhere. I know in Sacramento they just built a Hard Rock Resort or something like that. Go book you a room at the Hard Rock. Get just one night, and come back refreshed, rejuvenated, or whatever. And so it's really beneficial for me. So I feel like everything that I have going on, it all works together. Like, it's all coming together, excuse me. And I'm really like laying the foundation now, even though it may sacrifice some time with my girls. But I mean, that's just life, right? We all work, we all have to work. And that's just like with moms that have kids that are older that are in sports, right? You work, you get off, you might get off late, you may not make the game. That's part of motherhood. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, but we all learning and we're all trying and stuff, right? So again, it's not easy, but I do feel like what keeps me motivated are my girls, right? Not only that, but just the fact that I feel like what I'm doing now is going to lead to something great. I feel like, I don't know, like I'm getting towards what I'm really supposed to be doing, like finding my purpose, I guess, And one thing, like I mentioned, I'm a licensed insurance agent, and so I'm a part of a team that's called the Now Network in Sacramento, California. Part of the largest Black-owned financial services company in Northern California. And the owners are Princess and George Mitchell, and they are amazing. They are awesome, and they're super inspirational. And so I say that to say that, they really pour into us as a team. And something that they say quite often that really resonates with me is that you want to work for your last name. Don't work for someone else's last name. And now I've always been the kind of person that I always was like, there has to be something better. There has to be something greater out there for me, right? And so when I hear this, I'm like, I know, like I've been trying to find this, y'all. Like I'm on this path, you know? And so like I said, I feel like everything's kind of just coming together now. But yeah, that really resonates with me because this is something that I can, you know, show my girls, you know, and make them proud one day. Like I know at 2 or 3 years old, like they're not worried about being proud of their mama, like not even in the least, right? But when they become older and they realize the sacrifices that I made and the things that I was doing to make sure we had a better life and everything, I want them to be like, oh wow, like mom was really dope, like she was out here doing it, you know, like she did it, you know. I want that. I want them to know that everything that I did or everything that I am doing is for them. It's for us. It's for the family, you know. Even just like with this podcast, like I really created it because at that time when I became a new mom, it was such a transition that I just was not, I didn't know how to really transition into that, you know. It was like here I was being just carefree, picking up, moving as I pleased, and now to being super responsible. And not that I wasn't responsible before, let me not throw that out there. I was responsible before, but I was just more carefree of like in life, you know what I mean? But now, you know, I have these 2 little humans that depend on me for everything, you know. And so I just want to ensure that I'm doing the right things, that I'm ensuring that they have a good life because they didn't ask to be here, you know. And so, yeah, that's kind of just like what I do to kind of make the time. Like I said, as a mom, as a parent, we just find a way. I'm curious to know, though, how do y'all find the time? How do you guys make it work? You know, especially with the ladies and gentlemen, ladies, moms and dads, you know, that work 9-to-5 jobs, you know. Like, I know y'all probably looking at me like, girl, you be gone. How you make it work? But, you know, with the 9-to-5 job, that's a big chunk of the day that you're missing out on, you know, being with your child or with your children, you know what I mean? And then we get the weekends, which is like 2 days out of the week. And then, you know, so I think like with my job, what makes it a little easier for me too is that with our schedule, even though I'll be gone for say like a day or 2, I also have like extended amounts of time off after. So it would be like maybe, you know, 3 to 4 days after. And so that's a lot of time spending with them consistently, you know. So I just really wanted to share that with y'all. And moms, you know, I know we get hard, moms and dads, I know we get on ourselves. I know it's hard. You know, we just want to be the best parents that we can be for our kids. And part of that is working, you know, maybe not necessarily for somebody else, but working for yourself, working towards a goal. You know, we're showing our babies that, you know, it can be done, you know. And so with that being said, told y'all I'm a podcaster, so make sure you follow this podcast on Spotify, Raising Wild Twins, on social media as well, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I think that's it. Told you I'm also an author, so go ahead and check out Woolmates, La Ancienne. It's available at Barnes & Noble and on Amazon Kindle. And I'm also a licensed insurance agent. So if you are not properly protected and you have questions or you want to get a policy, holla at your girl. I'll take care of you. I got you. And I might see you on a flight too. You just never know where I'm going to pop up in your life, right? So with that being said, I hope y'all have a beautiful night, beautiful people. Peace.